Not long ago I wrote a song. Now everybody sings along. It feels like paradise when I climb up on the stage.
Welcome to the Ska History Hour with your host, Daryl Rubio, wherein the purpose of this channel is to spread awareness of ska music and its subgenres to the world. We have a special interview today. Our guests are members of bands representing the Ninguid Records Ska Festival happening July 18th and 19th in St. Louis, Missouri.
17th and 18th.
What did I say?
18th and 19th.
18th and 19th. I apologize. I don't know why I did that. So 18th and 19th. Thank you, Tim. And I'm glad we got Tim here to make sure that we're on track with everything. Tim is the owner of Ninguid Records, promoter of the fest as well. So Tim, thank you for being on here. Thank you for throwing the festival. We also have a special co-host
thank you for having
today,
us.
Mr. Mikey Rude. Mr. Mikey Rude is from That Same Old Show out of Hawaii. Mikey, thank you for being on.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Of course, of course. So everyone, thank you for being on here. We appreciate your time. Let's go around to each band. We're going to go in alphabetical order. We've got Tyrus from Arkansas. So the way that it's worked, I'm going to ask each band to go ahead and let me know when your band started and where your band is from and what kind of music you play. We're going to start with Tyrus from Arkansas, going in alphabetical order. So Tyrus, go ahead.
Yeah, so we all got together back in 2012, but never really made anything of it. We officially got back together in 24 and put an album together that we released in 25 and have been going since. We're a ska punk band. You know, my other bandmates, their ska roots go very deep. Mine, I lie more on like the punk side and ska, and I like metal and stuff. So, like, I'm all over the place. But you know, when you get to play bass in a ska band, you can kind of just do whatever. But yeah, no, I love my guys, and you know, we're just having fun doing it. So
That's awesome. Very good, very good. And I'm sorry, you said you're from Arkansas, right?
yeah, we're I would say we're Central Arkansas based, but I mean, nobody's gonna know what the town is, but we'll just say Little Rock. I mean, we're in the Central. So.
All right. Thank you, Tyrus. Appreciate you being on. Let's go over to Chris from Coolidge. Same question, Chris. When you started, because you started in another band before, we already know that. When you started, where you're from, city, and also what you play in your band.
Okay, so Coolidge officially started in the year 2000. In the year 2000, and evolved over the years. Started as just kind of a straight rock band, and then brought back some former members of a band that we used to be in, and we're from Indianapolis, Indiana. The kind of music we do, there's definitely ska influences, but there's a lot of rock influences, a lot of eclectic stuff. I thought the other day we're kind of like the Night Ranger of ska, kind of a pop metal, but some punk influence. It's everything. But we're really excited to be part of this show and for tonight.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Chris. Thank you for being on. Next, we've got Joe from Lost Island Society. Same question. Where's Joe?
Yeah, I'm Joe from Lost Island. We've been a band since 2022, maybe a little bit before that. I play guitar and do lead vocals in the band. Do a lot of the songwriting. I would consider us a rock band with horns, very ska influenced. We love to blend genres and really kind of just spice things up. But we do a lot of ska stuff. We do a lot of punk stuff, and kind of in between, a little bit of reggae here and there. But yeah, we are really just a rock band with horns that loves ska so very much, and are so stoked to be coming to Ninguid and this will be our first show outside of Minnesota besides Scaffoldton. We played Scaffoldton 3 years in a row now, and now to play another big ska festival is so rad, and we're pumped. So thank you for having us.
Yeah, that's at you, Tim. But thank you very much for being on there, Joe. Next, we've got, for alphabetical order, we got Tim. So Tim, you're representing your Ninguid All Stars.
Yeah, I'm representing Ninguid All Stars. We have existed for 4 weeks. So, what has happened is we are friends to Hot Rails, St. Louis crust punk. We're supposed to be a part of night 2. They called us and they said, "Hey, our drummer is going out of town. We can't do it. We're so sorry." And no hate to them. Love that crew. Would not have had them on if I didn't. And I'm a very superstitious person. I don't like uneven things, and I'm like, shit, I gotta, I gotta get a band, for 4 weeks, and I was like, that's just too much, for I think me to ask any band. So I went to my crew. I went to Orange Tree. I went to members of Skyside Giant. I went to ex MU30 members, and I said, hey. You know what? And we at Ninguid Records love doing MU30 tribute sets. How about we do a third how about we book our third MU30 tribute from that at a Ninguid Records show? And yeah, that's what we've done. So we are going to be doing some MU30 songs, some that I think everyone is expecting, and then definitely some deep cuts that maybe only the group of us will enjoy. But you know what? My thought process is, I already got your fucking money, and if I'm entertained, that's all that matters.
Anything from Crab Rangoon that you're going to be playing?
Yes, yes.
Ireland?
No,
Oh,
no, no.
okay.
It was well, actually, I will say one song that we really wanted to play. It's not from Crab Rangoon, but from Chumps was Get Caught. And so the bass player of Orange Tree is now Lewis, who joined Orange Tree in the fall of last year. And Lewis was formerly the bass player of Boss Battle. And I think some people maybe remember that Boss Battle did and the first Ninguid Records MVD30 tribute as BP330. And his song that he picked was Get Caught. And that was the first song that they cut from the set list. And Get Caught is actually my second favorite MV230 song. So it was my pick, and it was the first song that got cut. So hopefully maybe one day Lewis could be kind of like a Ninguid Records nomad and just go from ska band to ska band and eventually get to play Got Caught.
All right. So you guys have been practicing a lot, I assume, because
We have been dedicated to like doing practices, and it's interesting when you bring in a bunch of people that either like if you look at Orange Tree and they played together, and then you look at some other members played together, and you just bring this hodgepodge, and it's just like the first like hour, everyone's just like, I don't like you. You're horrible at what you do. But then after you get through those jitters, and like things start melding, it's like things just sound so amazing. But yeah, to everyone's credit, like the fact that everyone involved is able to drop what they're doing in these summer plans and help me out with this, I'm really appreciative of.
That's great. Appreciate you being on too, Tim. Next, Brandon from the operators, we've got you up. Same questions.
I guess, can you guys hear me?
Mhm.
Cool. We started, I think, in 2015, 2016, something like that. I think no, wait, I'm so wrong. 2018, my bad. Jesus Christ, man. I've been in it so long, I'm just like over it at this point. I play guitar and I sing in the band. And basically our style is we try to stay really close to the roots, as close as we can, and throw maybe a little like samba or bossa nova or Latin beats into it, and maybe some rockabilly and punk, but not much at all. So really just trying to stay structured with the songwriting and keeping it in the vein. There's so many bands out there doing it, punk, ska. they're gonna do it better than I can. So I'm just gonna ride my my sappy love songs and the old ska two-tone beats that I can.
Right on. We appreciate you being on here. Thanks, Brandon.
Thanks.
Next up, we've got Kenny and DL from Rumluck. Same questions, guys.
Hey, this is DL from Rumluck, and this is Kenny. We started in the dawn of time when God shut, no, was it 2023?
2023.
We started, we're a punk ska band. We love skate punk. We love reggae. We're right here from St. Louis, Missouri. We love the scene. Everything with Ninguid is awesome. We can't wait to play the show again. It's killer.
Yeah, I just say we were ska punk, kind of like Rancid, mixed with Pennywise, No Effects, a lot of that kind of stuff all together. Yep.
Oh, that sounds good. And you guys, what do you each play in the band?
I play bass and Dee's guitar and lead vocals.
Awesome. Appreciate you guys. And you guys are from what city? Or state?
St. Louis. St. Louis. We're
awesome.
the hometown boys.
I know.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time in St. Louis area. My favorite place would probably be Crevcoeur.
Creve, yeah.
Crevecore?
Okay.
I've been to all those places before. Yeah.
No worries, bro.
So I appreciate you guys being on. Something to do is also on the show. I'm not sure. Looks like we have somebody with the telephone here. I'm not sure if they're from.
That's right.
I heard a voice. What was that?
It's Nate from Something to Do. It's Nate from Something to Do.
All right, Nate. Let's hear it. Talk about your band. When you started, what you play in the band, what kind of music you play.
Got it. Sorry, I'm on phone and I can't see all your beautiful faces. There's a lot of familiar names here. But just imagine what I look like. I'll start with a quick physical description of what I look like. I think that's a great start. I've got big muscles, really good teeth, pretty appealing as a person, you know?
Sheesh.
Yeah.
Right.
Right. So that's just how I look. I just wanted, since you don't have a video feed, I just wanted you to sort of like Brad Pitt and but also like a little bit of Sydney Sweeney, you know? There's just a lot of luster there in my physical appearance. So I play bass and sing in Something to Do. We're from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. We have been a band so much longer than some of these bands on here saying that they started before the dawn of time. We started when I was just out of high school in, I want to say 2003, and have been a band that whole time across many different eras. And we still go today. I don't remember. I feel like there was another question in your question.
What kind of music you play, where you're from, the band?
Yes, well, we're from Milwaukee, and I would say we are ska rock. I wouldn't really go so far as to claim us to be punk. We're not, super hard, but we are very ska-ish and very rock-ish.
Awesome. I appreciate you being on, Nate. Thank you. Next time we'll be able to see your face. Working class.
Yeah, sorry, I thought that I had Zoom on my phone, but I don't.
German style doppelbock.
Sounds good.
All right. So
I do want to say I got nervous that when Nate said I heard him say Sydney, I thought he was going to say Portier and I'm glad that he said Sweeney.
Sydney Portier.
Yeah, well, Tim, you've seen me, so you know it's true. I have looked very beautiful.
Working Class Stiffs is also on here, but not represented today. So do we know where they're from, Tim?
They are from the Buffalo, New York area.
Buffalo, New York. What kind of music do they play?
I would describe as they have put out their debut release, Hood Rich, on Ninguid Records. I would describe them as sounding very similar to early Suicide Machines, specifically the Skank for Brains era.
Oh, okay. So they've been around a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. That's cool. For each of you, each of your bands, I'd like to know how you guys formed your band. Are each of you original members? I know I know Chris is.
Are we going back in alphabetical or?
I'll go first. Yes, I am an original member of this 4-week-old band.
Okay.
We have to date we have had very minimal turnover. So yeah. So everyone's original. We have
How do you
not.
do it, Tim?
You know what?
How do you keep them
Beatings.
happy?
I beat them. I just say just like look, if you it's very much like James Brown, but instead of fining for a bad note, it's a beating. And I keep them locked in my practice space. So
Yeah.
if you hear any banging, that's them trying to get out.
Okay.
More like the Ninguid all victims.
Well, only if you tell them that. I don't want them having a victim mentality, Nate.
You're right. We can edit this out, right? This part can be edited out of the.
Yeah. I guess we can start alphabetical order again. Ty, you want to?
Yeah, so we're all original members. So how we wound up all getting together is when I got kicked out of military school, which takes talent. I came back to public school and I saw a guy across the lunchroom with a dead Kennedy's patch on his hoodie, and I was like, that guy and I are finna be friends. And we kicked it off. That guy is Sloan, our drummer. We've been friends ever since. And he found Jimmy, and then he hit me up one day, and he's like, "Hey, want to smoke some weed and play some music?" I'm like, "Hell yeah, that sounds like a good time." So we got together, and that was back in 2012. But we never stopped being friends. But I mean, once you find a good group of guys, you never lose touch. So.
Does he come see your band play?
Oh no, Sloan's in the band. So Sloan's our drummer.
Okay.
And then Jimmy, he brought in Jimmy. He's our guitarist. So then we all met because of Sloan. So
yeah.
But yeah.
Right on. Right on. Appreciate you. Thank you. Next, I got Chris with Coolidge. How did you start your band?
I started my band as a side project of a band that I was in called Johnny Sacco that used to play a lot in the mid 90s.
Yep, I remember.
And used to play a lot with ME330. So I'm going to push that we stick around for Saturday night to watch the Ninguid Record All Stars because that's exciting. And I'm representing here. I don't know if you saw that.
Oh yeah.
But
Nice.
the mighty band from the mighty city by the mighty Mississippi. But Johnny Sacco, I started a side project, and then after Johnny Sacco dissolved, I started calling on some former members of Johnny Sacco. So Coolidge started as just kind of a straight rock band, and then about 2008, 2007, 2008, the horn section from Johnny Sacco, a couple of the guys joined up, and we kind of shifted the style of music we were playing. It's kind of a hybrid now of what we used to do back in the day and the kind of straight rock thing. So that's how we got to where we are.
Very nice. Thanks for being on. Next, we got Joe with Lost Island Society.
Yeah, so we formed. If you really want to get into like the nitty gritty details, I guess I would be the original member of the group. Originally, we played a lot of covers, doing everything from like Rancid to like some reggae stuff, but it wasn't very very long. We were playing covers maybe 3 months, and then kind of started working on original material. Had a lot of turnover, and I would say Trevor, myself, and Eric are the three like original members of Lost Island. We kind of we picked up a gig and had to like come up with a name within like 8 hours, and that's where we landed with Lost Island Society. And our first gig was in, I believe, May of 2022 at a rad little bar called the White Squirrel. And we've kind of just evolved since then, going from a two guitar format now to I'm the sole guitar player and I do lead vocals, and we have 3 horns, so bigger more melodic, more powerful horn parts, but very much just a rock band with horns that loves ska so much. Yeah.
Very nice. Appreciate you being on too, Joe. We already talked to Tim about that. Let's go over to Brandon with the operators.
Hey, so I guess I was kind of done with music, or I thought I was gonna be done with music, and I was gonna work on stand up, and then I wrote a song and I sent it to my buddy, and he was like, "Hey Brandon, you should start a ska band," and that's literally how I ended up starting the Operators, and it just kind of, I've had a bunch of members, over change and stuff, but the crew I have now is this, they've been there basically from the start except for one person, so it's the original lineup basically with one extra person and minus one person really, so it was just, everybody was down for it when I decided to do it, because I didn't think I was going to be able to get that many people together, and now we're back to it like a 5-piece, little leaner. Brittany's gone, and our key player switched to bass, so, but it's we just recorded an album, and we're really happy with these songs. They're really strong, so it's a great direction to take. Like out of flames comes here's a fucking album, so we didn't really have plans to record, and when everything just started falling apart, I was like, fuck this, and I wrote an album in like 6 months, so so here we are. You guys will see how much different it is now, but
very nice. Yeah, lineup changes will do that, especially
am I hearing gunshots?
Yeah, man, I'm from fucking Indiana. I don't know.
Was it Gary? Jeez, come on.
Oh, wow. You have good ears, Mikey. I didn't hear that at all. All right, Brandon, appreciate that. Rumluck, let's, what about you?
Yo. Hey, so we're accustomed to gunshots here in St. Louis. That was like, oh, dinner's ready?
Yeah, so back in 2014, me and DL started a band together, and we were playing mostly punk rock mixed with reggae rock, and then doing a lot of covers and stuff. And then our other two members, Bob and Jeff, I used to be in a band with them in high school in the early 2000s. That was just straight punk rock, like NoFX type stuff. So when the pandemic hit, I hit up DL again out of nowhere, and I was like, hey, you want to try to get together and start jamming again? And then I hit up my high school friends, and then we all just got together, had a couple practices, and it worked out really well because we all like similar music, similar styles, and just meshed and took off from there. And this is our other member. She's our mascot, Jade.
Is that a French bulldog?
Our little Frenchie.
Little Frenchie.
She's our little mascot. But yeah, that's how we started.
Cool. Right on. Thanks for being on, guys.
Yeah.
Last but certainly not least, Nate there with no face.
Doesn't feel that way. Feels like I'm least. Feels like I'm least. That's fine. We started, let's see, I was in another ska band up here in Wisconsin, and basically roped together a new band from folks from other existing ska bands. There was a couple different ska bands that we had that were all kind of falling apart at the same time, and felt like it was the right time to start a new thing. And then literally, I would say maybe 10 years ago, the band kind of reset with almost all new members, and it was the same goddamn thing, where it was all people from other ska bands, And so we've ended up being like this band where people in the Midwest, particularly in Wisconsin, but kind of throughout, join the band, and it has been great.
Okay. And you guys you're from where again?
Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Milwaukee.
The very heart of America.
Do you remember Steamfish?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, they moved out to here to
You remember
California
them?
and changed their name to Siren 6.
Nice. Yeah, I do remember this.
Yeah, that was a great
A little
band.
before my time, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Awesome. Oh, looks my phone timed out. Okay, so let's see here. Let's go ahead and talk about this little festival that Tim's put on here. This is third, the the third year in a row, right, Tim?
Yep. Yep.
Third year in a row that you've got the Ninguid Ska Festival. Um, let's talk about how you put this festival together. When do you start? When do the bands come in? How do you choose the bands? Who do you have helping you? Let's go ahead and talk about behind the scenes stuff.
All right. Well, I think one of the things that everyone who's been doing this long enough with me behind the scene knows that every time it is time for me to sit down and take time out of my life to figure this out, figure out who, I want to send offers to, something really horrible happens in my life. So the the first year, my daughter's trunk or treat, uh, a dad who was a police officer lost his shit and shot up the trunk or treat. Uh, yeah, yeah. So some people, and I can see the faces of people who've been around, like, oh yeah, that happened. And then the last two selections, there have been parental cancer battles. So usually I try to bring in as many ears and just kind of like, hey, is this just something that I like that I would just like, or something that other people will like? I have this thing that's 100% true. It's called the Kinney scale. So the first Ningwood Fest, Kenny from Rumluck, this dude ran around 2 days straight like a kid in a candy store, like the happiest look on his face. And I really do think, I really do try to process like, will this lineup bring anyone there have that much joy as Kenny did? And again, it sounds silly, but if anyone that was there knows that he just was just, I mean, just ear to ear grand dancing nonstop. So like for me, well, DL left early, so I can't really say much about him. But Kenny for sure, Kenny for sure both days, and
He's older
every
than me. I'm old.
yeah, but like so like for me, it is while I do get input and like thought process, the buck does stop here. And so it is important to me to have like the most diverse lineup I can have that will bring as many people in there, and also those that are there enjoy their times. Sometimes I'm a little bit more successful with it than others. And that's just with my booking style in general. But that's honestly what I'm looking for, to see if everyone's there is having the best time possible.
So with the bands, because we know there's a lot of bands from that you have from outside the area. Are we just talking about bands that are also friends with you or your partners or
I hate
Ninguid
all
or
of these people. I hate every single person on this screen. I
I knew
just after the show, I'm getting restraining orders on all these assholes. Um, no, no, no. Actually, it's not. It's. I really do. Um, I generally around December, I put out December, or actually it went sometime in the fall. I put out like, hey, here's submissions, and everyone has a shot, right? Unless I know you to be a bunch of assholes, everyone has like a fair shot, right? So a lot of those that I booked for this, and then I have what I consider two temple shows, Ningwood Fest, and then our Midwest Holidays. A lot of times, I have no relations with the bands especially the out of town bands. Like obviously a band like Coolidge. I was Orange Tree's, merch guy in the 2000s, so I knew Johnny Sacco, right? Um, but like, I just met the operators in a one-off, when Orange Tree opening with them and Coolidge, right? Didn't know them. I just said, hey, I have this festival. You guys should submit. They did. Um, you know, Arkansas literally had a post in the St. Louis Ska group, not too long, like last year, and I was like, hey, well, you come here for December, and then just people like them, so I'm bringing them back, right? You know,
Mhm.
working class steps, they're on the label. I have to have someone on the label, you know, for the festival. So you know, I would, you know, be fair, they have probably a little bit, you know, they had a little bit more in than anyone else. But generally, no, it's we become friends. You know, or at least I like to think, you know, prior to me making those comments about calling everyone assholes and getting restraining orders, I like to think that we've developed a lot of us have developed friendships. But for the most part, no, being a friend of mine does not guarantee a spot. If anything, to be completely honest with you, it might work opposite because it's tough, you know, for people. I think for me personally, I feel people it would be tough for people to take me seriously if it's just like, oh, you know, it's Tim's friends all playing again, same, you know, same year in a row, right? So
Mhm.
got in the same way when I'm booking, you know, try to get, bands with label. I try to make sure that it's diverse, you know, talking to bands all over the country, and you know, I don't want this just to be, oh, this is just Tim's, you know, friends things. There's other festivals that do that, and that's fine for them, and I'm happy for them. It's just, I just, it wouldn't work for me.
Mm. Okay. Yeah, so because you have on your label, uh, you also have Secret Cajun Band that you and I talked about
Yeah,
last year.
yeah.
Yeah. So, but they played last year's fest, and they're also on your label. Was it something that they couldn't do this year?
No, it's so they played last year, the year before. This year we're probably gonna take a 1 year break from Secret Cajun Band, and then bring them back next year.
Hmm.
Um, Perhaps with the release to promote. So I've learned that with Secret Cajun Band, outside of the local ska scene, Secret Cajun Band has a huge fan base,
Mhm.
and I've learned have booking three of their shows back that their fan base really their preference would be a 5 hour Secret Cajun Band show, like outside of the local ska scene, right? And so um, you know, and I'm gonna sound like an asshole, and I'm gonna say something cliche, but it is show business, and so shit costs money, and so I've learned that to maximize dollars with Secret Cajun Band, they need to have their own kind of thing where they're going to have like an hour and a half set, right? So that way everyone's happy, right? The
Mhm.
people in the sky scene that want to see Secret Cajun Band, they're happy, and then their family and friends and people that that people who come as far as like Hawaii to see them when they play, they're also happy that they get like the hour and a half set.
Mm. Okay. You also have a band called Lone Stranger on the album. Are they no longer together?
They are not on the label after at so Kenny, you want to handle that?
All you,
uh
brother.
so this is the probably the PC answer. I have a real strong belief and when it comes to like working with people, and I have a strong we'll say code of conduct, and if you can't live up to that code of conduct, I can't have you around, right? So the easiest way to say is if I can't have you around like my family, you probably can't be on the label. And
Mm.
I'll and that's all I'll say about that one.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. So, what got you into this, Tim? Did you have a love of ska? Did you always like it? Did someone say, "Hey, man, you like ska so much? Why don't you throw shows?" How did this come about? How did the record label come about too?
The record label came about initially. When I was working as a merch guy for Orange Tree, like 20 years ago, and I was doing working there as a merch guy, doing shows of my own as a singer songwriter and in bands, and then just being a bunch of shows. I'm like, I really want to start a label, and a big actually mentor would have been Miguel from Secret Cajun Band, who was like, yeah, you should do it. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna do it. And then 20 years later, I did it. Uh,
20 years later.
so yeah, and so yeah, so one of the things that I am is very much a nerd. Really big in Six Sigma. I was looking at trends of, you know, and this is, I guess, very early 2020, late 2019. I was like, hey, I want to start a label. I think I need a sign to start a label. And then the pandemic hit and I had nothing to do. And so one of the things I noticed is that there was just kind of a lack of records coming out. And I was like, well, this would be the opportune time for me to start a label when no one can go to shows to promote the label. And so, which, I mean, it sounds silly, but I also knew that this would be an opportune time that I wouldn't have to deal with like delays. I know my albums, at the beginning, right? Later on, there was like year delays, but in the beginning, it was 6 weeks. You could get an album pressed in 6 weeks, right? And so, you know, first band was the Orange Tree Fixing Stupid album. Um, we, got it pressed. We ended up actually doing an outdoor, semi-acoustic, um, Orange Tree reunion, their first show back in like 20 something years. And then just from there, just building relationships, working class stiffs. Me and Joe, the bass player, were in one of the punk rock dad groups, and he had posted something about asking questions about like pressing vinyl. And a few weeks later, I just happened to be posting, like, hey, yeah, I'm doing this Orange Tree release. And he messaged me. He was like, hey, man, I know you answered a question that I had about the vinyl, but would you mind checking out my band and maybe you can put out our album? And so I said, yeah, sure. Well, why not? And I listened to it. I'm like, well, I like this, but I want to make sure that I was like, hey, this is this it's not just me. So I sent it to friends that were all like, hey, you'd be dumb not to bring these guys on board. So they were like, they were one of the first out of town bands, right? That I, under the Ninguid banner, had, you know, developed that relationship with. So it's just, again, for me, is it was started as something to basically looking at the data, that I'm like, this would be the opportune time to do it since I've been talking about this shit for 20 something years. And then I did it, right?
So
And
you
I've been doing it
decided,
mediocre ever since.
did you decide to go with Orange Tree first because they're the ones that kind of told you, hey, you need to really do this?
I went with technically I'd asked a few bands and they were like, we're not interested. And part of it was just like, I'm sure a lot of my friends here, hey, I want to start a label, I want to put out this, right? And so um I started with Orange Tree just because it was close proximity. And then once Orange Tree, came out, then a lot of the bands that were like, oh, well, we're not interested, suddenly becoming interested because now they realized that this was actually a real thing, and that I wasn't just one of the people who were like, hey, this is something that that you'll never, you'll hear another 20 years from doing, right? So it was proximity.
Right.
But it's also both of those formerly Jump Up releases are just great albums, and they needed
Yeah,
a new life on vinyl.
yeah, exactly. There's a lot of bands from all those American Gothic ones that I first, I mean, that's where I first heard Chris's band, as well, from there. But yeah, lots of good bands from that area. All the Midwest stuff. That's where I first heard Secret Cajun Band too. But you re-released Secret Band's albums on vinyl, right?
Yeah, the Big House.
That's right.
I I the song Hot Dog Boy is one of my favorite ska songs. And I messaged Hot Dog Boy. We'd been Facebook friends for like, honestly, 10 years. I've never engaged with each other. And I sent him a message. I'm like, hey man, I don't know if you noticed, I've started this label, got some great momentum. I'm really interested in really seeing Big House on the label. And he's like, well, let me talk to the guys and we'll get back to you. And like 2 days later, he was like, "Okay, we have some questions. How much is this going to cost us to be on your label?" And I was like, "Okay, Josh, let me explain how this works. If you don't pay me to be on my label, I handle the money stuff, and I pay you." And so yeah, it was one of those things. We it was great. We got it remastered by Ryan Waspa, who's a great studio engineer. Got it pressed, and as we announced it, people were like, "So, are you guys going to do a reunion show?" And and honestly, they had no intention of doing it. Like, and it's one of those things where I think people think that I force these old ska bands to like reunite and to promote the album, but it's not true. And to be honest with you, if I had the ability to force, 8 to 10 grown men to do my bidding, it wouldn't be released as ska, but I would have these guys robbing banks. Like, you'd be like, "Oh, the two-tone badness have struck again," and like that's where I would be. But they were super excited. And eventually I got a message. So it was like, "Hey, what would it take for us to do a one-off show?" And I was like, "Well, I need to talk to one of the talent buyers." Talent buyer was like, "Tell me what day, if it's free, they can have it." And then that one off has turned into them being, semi back, right? They've had 2 additional shows, and like I said, we're looking forward to doing another show in 2027. And so,
Nice.
it's just very very lucky that I was able to have a great relationship with them.
That's great. And did you start promoting shows because there wasn't much of the music you want to hear in your area?
I promoted shows in the early 2000s, and then just kind of like a lot of people just stopped, and I thought, well, this would be another way of bringing entertainment back, and starting promoting shows. So even like outside of this, I'm the booker for Orange Tree. I'm the booker for Secret Cajun Band. I consult with a few other bands on things. I'm gonna give Rum lessons about not beating each other on camera, and we are going to make sure that I do everything I can to help make a great ska scene here locally and throughout the Midwest.
Perfect. That's awesome. Appreciate you, man. From each one of the bands, and we'll go alphabetically as well. Tell us about the scene in your area, punk or ska scene. Tell us about the scene in your area, what bands that you guys play with, and who are your favorite bands to play with, starting with Tyrus over with Arkansas.
So for ska, it's about non-existent. There was one band when we first started, but they lost their bassist. And so, to my knowledge, as it sits, we're the only ska band or ska adjacent band in the area.
There's also Analog Daydream.
We haven't met them. I have no idea about them. So, but
they're awesome.
if they
We played with
exist,
them. They're great.
I need to get a hold of them.
Yeah.
Are they out of like NWA, like Northwestern Arkansas, or like
Mikey? Do you remember? Because I don't remember where they're from.
I think they're from
I was just going to ask you. Yeah, I think they're Alabama, bro.
Yeah, they're Alabama.
Oh, Alabama. I'm sorry.
They both start
And
with
with
an
the A.
A.
It's all good.
And with an
I
A.
mean, hey,
Isn't
I'm
that the
gonna
general
discredit
awesome?
you. Arkansas does get confused for Alabama sometimes, but they're
It
not the
does.
exact same spot.
Yeah.
But we do got a few good punk bands we love playing with in the area. Aloof, they're very small. They got so much energy, and those guys are crazy, and we just love the hell out of them. And then Traffic and Melodies are like one generation older than us, but like they're super welcoming, and we love those guys too. They're a lot of fun to play with. Just 2 punk bands. There's other bands we love playing with, but I mean, we don't mind mixed genres and stuff like that because I mean, we want to play shows, we want to have fun. I mean, our music's just to have fun, so that's
That's exactly what the guys in Analog Daydream said from Arkansas. I mean Alabama.
hell, count it. I'll look them up because I mean, I lived in Alabama for like 6 months, but
Okay. Chris, let's jump over to Indiana. You don't have much of a scene last time we talked.
There's only one band in the scene that's worth listening to, and they're called the Operators. Um, it's not Orange County, right?
Yeah.
So the Operators are fantastic, and they're out there working hard and getting out and playing shows and doing tours, which is awesome. We're really excited to see them do that. There's a great band in Indianapolis called the Circle City Deacons.
Oh yes.
Um,
They're
and,
going to be playing that Root Fest.
yeah, and they're fantastic. And in fact, their trumpet player pulls double duty with the Operators.
Oh.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Brandon, but that was the case last I knew. There's a couple other ska bands. I'm a little old to really give you all the details. Maybe Brandon will shed a light on some more of that. But as far as the scene goes, there is a great promotional company called Punk Rock Night that hosts a weekly Saturday night punk rock show that Orange Tree joined us on a little over a year ago. It was actually a special punk rock night show on a Friday night. So they'll do other shows throughout the week. But anybody on this call, if you're thinking about coming through Indy, that's who you'd want to hit up is punkrocknight.com. And they've got a promoter there that will get you in, hopefully, to a decent show around the time that you're driving through Indianapolis.
Very good. Thank you, Chris. Tim, we know you're from the St. Louis area. The only real other band that I know that you haven't discussed yet was, I think it's April's band, Rat Party Dilemma. Is that right? From your area?
Yeah, they're from St. Louis.
What other bands?
We also have Big Time Scotty, which is kind of an all-star band. Jessica Butler from the Scholars is in that band. Rumla coming out. Who else is in that band besides Scott Ashby, Jessica Butler?
I forget. Yeah, I don't know who else is in that one.
I think Aaron goes by Livy online. I won't give his real last name. He is a guitar player for that band. Great guy named Brian's their trombone player. But yeah, St. Louis is one of those things where I'm happy to say that there are more ska bands in the scene now than there were about 5 years ago.
Absolutely. Definitely.
Good. Thank you. All right, Brandon, we already know the other band closest to you would be Coolidge. Anyone else that you could think of?
There's this band. They're from Indianapolis. They're also called Coolidge. You should definitely check out that band if you can. I grew up in Indianapolis, so I've been to a lot of shows and stuff. And Circle City Deacons and Coolidge have been around since before I started really anything, like '08, I guess. And they've been around forever, man. So they've that's the when you talk about Indiana ska, that's the three that I come up with every time, and hell, Heath sometimes plays in Coolidge, so it's just fun, Yeah, we've got a decent scene, and I can't second enough. Chris is talking about when you come here, hit up Punk Rock Night if you're gonna be coming through Indiana. That's almost a no-brainer stop, and it's usually always a good show. The promotion they do is pretty good. It's a lot of fun. I've been there since about '08, and it's one of my favorite clubs. And if you can't get there, I would still try for the Melody Inn. It's where that's the bar that they hold these shows at. So, Punk Rock Night is something, but the bar is still something as well. They do shows without Punk Rock Night. That's still a good stop. And if you're plowing through, find a local. They have lots of tons of punk bands here, and they're really good about getting some kind of obscure stuff, and so that's always a cool place.
Thank you. Joe, I skipped over you, and I apologize in regards to the alphabet. So let's talk about Lost Island Society.
Oh, it's all good. Yeah. So Minneapolis has a pretty solid ska scene. One of our, bands have been very good friends to us and who we've played with many times is Space Monkey Mafia. Absolutely fantastic live
Love those
band.
guys.
Homies of ours. We played with a pop punk band named Linus many times. Runaway Ricochet. Something to Do at least like 5 times now, despite them being from Wisconsin, Milwaukee. Yeah, Prize Fighters are kind of like two-tone ska reggae from Minneapolis. It's a thriving scene, and there's a lot of small to medium venues that I mean like I say this jokingly, like still choose to put up with ska bands, right? It's a lot of inputs. It's way too many fucking human beings on a stage for a night, but we do these shows where it's like 5 ska bands and they invite us back year after year, which is so cool. It's all about the community,
Cool. Right on, man. Thank you. Then we'll jump over to Kenny and DL and Rum Luck.
Yeah, we got a pretty good ska scene right now. Like Tim said, it keeps growing.
Strong, supportive.
Like I said, Secret Cajun Band is awesome.
Skatonics.
Orange Tree, Skatonics, Rap Party Dilemma, the Hot Rails, they're really fun. I think just it's starting to take off a little bit more and more here. And then there's more punk bands that are including some more ska stuff. Like our friends band Modern Angst, they're starting to do a little more like ska punk kind of stuff. So
Same thing with PFR.
Yeah, PFR has also added some horns, and they're doing some great stuff too. They're good friends too. Yeah, lots of good stuff happening here.
Very nice. It looks like Midwest is happening.
Yeah.
Let's jump over to Nate with Something to Do. What's your scene look like there?
Yeah, well, in Wisconsin, there's some pretty solid ska bands. Milwaukee has a good ska history. There's a lot of great ska bands from the 90s into the early aughts. It died down a little bit, but it's trying to come back. And I would say that in Wisconsin writ large and through Madison, there's a bunch of great ska bands that we get to play with all the time. In Milwaukee, our trumpet players in another band too. Local Legends. In Madison, we got a lot of homies. Courtesy
Local
of Tim,
Legends.
Muscales. Yeah, these are all good bands.
Yeah, I've been
What
playing.
was the name of a band called? Scollage?
Muscales?
Oh, Mescal, Meskales. Yes, Mescal. Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. No, we're good. And then also, I'd say that being in Wisconsin, we're just sort of spoiled. Like, we get to play with a lot of great Midwestern bands. I mean, like you heard, we have played with Lost Island Society, at least 5 times. Maybe more. We played with Space Monkey Mafia up there in Minneapolis probably 2 dozen times, man. We play in Minneapolis 4 or 5 times a year. We're in Chicago all the time. We make it to the punk rock night every, once or twice a year. We played with the Operators a few times. We're completely spoiled, and we're in the kind of the middle of this, like, if you zoom out a little bit in the Midwest, there's a pretty kick-ass ska situation, and we're like plopped in the middle of it. And so that's great. We get to play in Michigan all the time. We've played a lot with the Boy Detective. Obviously we get to play with like all of us here. We get to play shows sometimes with Mustard Plug, which is really great. Feel kind of spoiled by the scene.
Weren't the Invaders from Milwaukee?
Fuck yeah, they are.
Yeah, okay.
They're still together a little bit, dude. They don't play a lot these days, but they do still play some. And I mean, they used to play all the time, right?
Yeah.
That's a cool ass band.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember them. All right, thank you.
Highball Holiday, that's another one. Yeah.
What was it? That band?
I'll be quiet.
Okay.
Highball Holiday.
Oh yes,
I remember. I remember Highball Holiday.
That was
yeah.
a Moon band or something, weren't they? Moon Records?
Yeah, they're from Milwaukee. They got back together after COVID, and we played a couple shows with them, and it was like, this is so awesome. Like, because, they're like the Invaders are kind of bridge. They're maybe third wave. I think they started in like '88. So I don't know where you draw the line on this stuff, but they're very second wave influenced, right? Have a Holiday completely just, you know, in that two-tone style, like just pre all the ska punk stuff that came and just took over so much stuff. Like they got a different feel and it's awesome. And so they still play shows every once in a while now again, and it's been great to see them come back, and we love playing with them.
Yeah.
And you know, my favorite band from Milwaukee is Analog Daydream.
Well, that's fine, Tim. That's fine. I'm right here on the call. I'm from Milwaukee, Tim, and I'm in a band called Something to Do.
Oh, really? Oh,
not say that.
Are you
we
guys?
should be your favorite band?
Are you guys on the show?
I mean, we'll see how much I make you mad before the end of the show. Before the end of the show.
I would like to record the show that this is the second time that I have booked Something to Do to come to St. Louis. So
that's right.
So which band?
Our band broke down.
Yeah,
Did it?
the van broke down 90 minutes from the venue, and like we were all talking. Well, all of us that were at the venue were all talking that if it had happened maybe like 2 hours earlier, that we would have just sent someone out to come pick them up.
So they weren't able to make it, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, no.
No.
Unfortunately, no. I have to say, to be completely fair, and I love Nate. Something to Do has a, in my opinion, gets a very huge reception in St. Louis, and they are very well loved, to the point that when Amy Do 30 had one of their shows in March, they were like, hey, does someone have Something to Do's contact information? And the talent buyer was like, Tim Snow will have it. And so like I'm like, yeah, I would love to see, Something to Do with MU. And so I immediately messaged, Nate and said, hey, dude, just so you know, the promoter's about to come reach out to you. Let's see if you want to play with MU 230. So there is much love for Something to Do when they can occasionally make it to St. Louis.
Very good segue into what I was going to ask next, Tim. Nate, I guess we'll start with you because we're already in Something to Do. I'd like to know why it is the name of your name of the band, and is there a meaning behind the name of the band? Now, with Nate, when I think of Something to Do, I think of a Depeche Mode song. Am I anywhere near?
Did you say Distorted Penguins? Who did you say?
No, Depeche Mode.
Depeche Mode. I do love Depeche Mode, but no.
Because they had that song.
When we started, I graduated from high school and I didn't go to college, and I had like immediate existential dread, right? I was like, what am I gonna do with my life? And literally I was like, I need something to do. And then we were also like, we could have stickers and they'll say STD. That'd be so badass. I was very young, and our saxophone player at the time, Aaron, was like, "You horse's ass! My sister works at an HIV clinic. We can't do that, you stupid motherfucker." And I was like, "Oh, she's right." And so then we started abbreviating it to S2D. We've been saddled with this name ever since. Like, this name is, if anybody on this call, I'd challenge all of you on a less Google-friendly name than Something to Do. Not great to the internet.
Oh well, wait, who was I looking up? Not for Concentrate on the album was called Pulp Free. That was a hell of a Google lookup right there. Let me tell you.
That's pretty good, yeah.
Let's go over to Ty with Arkansas. Of course, we kind of know what that incorporates. So that you still with us, Tyrus?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the name, our drummer came up with the name years and years ago, never told us about it. But I have a friend that went out to Lake June, California, and he's working out there, and he shows his friend our music, and we didn't have a name at the time. He's like, they should just call themselves Arkansas. And then he told me that, and I'm like, we'd been together like 6 months and had 3 or 4 songs already recorded, and he said it, and I was like, that worked. So, I ran it through the guys, and we was just like, yeah, and we just been sending it ever since. But you know, I don't think it's easy to pick out band names. It's not something that just that's a tedious task for sure.
It's got to fit. It's got to be right.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
my latest band name is Criminal Algae.
See, I
That's
mean,
that.
are you like riffraff and just like spit them out? Because like,
no. That came up last week, and I'm like, ooh, Criminal Algae. That would be a great name for a band.
It is like that is a good name. I'll give you that too. I mean,
let's jump over to Chris with Coolidge.
Yeah. It is not after a Descendants song, although I love the Descendants. How about that? When I was a kid, I was really, really quiet, very shy, very quiet. And my late grandfather used to kind of joke. Calvin Coolidge was known as the silent president. They called him Silent Cal. So my grandfather would often joke, "Oh, there's Coolidge over there in the corner, not saying a word." He was a big Republican at the time. This is, the 70s. So that's where that came from. But when I started the side project, I had a music industry friend tell me, "Oh gosh, you can't use that. It'll be used by 1,000 bands. It's probably already used." So I threw my first name in front of it. So the first album was Chris Coolidge. And then I was just like, this is stupid. I'm not seeing any. And I don't know about the rest of you, but you're coming up with these band names. One of my favorite games is when I hear a band name that I think would be a really good band name, I pull up Apple Music or Spotify and search to see how many. There are like 17 of that name already out there. There's not another Coolidge. So my buddy in the industry was completely wrong. He was wrong 30 years ago. So that's where it came from.
It's funny because that you said about the Descendant song, because every time, like when I go in there to promote something on one of the socials, I go in and look for the band music, and if it's not there, I have my own download. And always, every time I look up Coolidge, it could, of course, it's going to have Pop Star Baby and all that stuff, but it always has Descendants playing the song Coolidge.
Yeah, which is not bad. I mean, it could be worse. And again, it's not a great Google search. You'll find Rita Coolidge or the president. But if you're looking for us on the socials, it's Coolidge the band.
Yeah. And Tim, we'll get over to you. We kind of know that you threw that name.
Yeah, I want to add on to what Chris said. If you haven't listened to Kings of No Hope, the stereo podcast, they Jamie and Rory both talk about how when they came up with the name The Stereo, they were sure that some other band had it, and so they called like every record store they could get the number to and asked them if they had an album by The Stereo. And after like 100 record stores said, no, we don't have any music by The Stereo, they knew that no other band had the name. So obviously this is pre iTunes, but that's how we used to do it back then. Yeah, it was rushed. It was so rushed that I'm like, fuck, Ninguid Records, All Stars, it's a wrap. Had Brandon Wan from the band Candy Lion update the artwork, sent it to the talent buyer, and literally as he's getting all the things loaded into the ticket portal, all this shit, all this stuff. I'm like, shit, I just missed a golden opportunity to call this Tim U330. And so
it's not too late.
And it's one of those things that if we had extra time, we would have definitely probably changed it to the Tim U330.
Thank you for that. We did get over to because I don't see Joe. I don't know if Joe's still there or not. Did we lose you, Joe? We'll come back to Joe. Let's go over to Brandon with the Operators. How did this band come about, or the name come about?
I'm not really too sure about that. I just knew that I was like operator or something like that, and then I was like the operators. I was like, that'll work. And I asked. There's a band from England that's called Operators, and they're defunct. They're not a band anymore. And he's like, we don't care. And there used to be a Canadian ska band called Operators 780, I think is what it's called. But yeah, they're defunct as well. So I was like, whatever, I'll just steal that. I don't fucking care. Like, there's a band in Australia right now that just came out, and they're called the Operators, and they're a ska band. I just don't care. Like, it is what it is. It's a name.
That's
We
right.
do it the best though. So
That's good. Well, it's good that your band could differentiate. Do they have the same type? Because you guys play mostly like reggae, rocksteady, trad ska, right? Or do they play the same?
Trad ska.
Not too. I mean, we used to. What you'll hear now is a lot different than what we were. So,
Okay.
If you saw us on our last tour with Slackers, that's completely what we're doing now. So it's way different from what it was. We had a lot of swing blue beat songs on the second album, kind of, and a lot of rock steady and reggae. But there's no more. I have like one reggae song, and the rest is basically like ska jazz.
Okay.
It's just like ska
Really?
guitar chords, like the hardest chords I can possibly play, and then I turned that into ska and samba and cumbia, stuff like that. Like, we went really to more like dancey, man, because we want to dance and have a good time. So that's kind of the thing we did now. But
Oh, definitely. Definitely.
it's cool. You'll really like it. You'll be like, oh, this is not what I expected, but
Well, it's good. I'm glad you let me know about that.
thanks.
We've got Kenny and DL with Rumluck. What's that name? What's the meaning of that?
Yeah, I'm guessing.
Well,
We're going to be the operators, but
You might have guessed there was probably some alcohol involved. Cheers. When we first got together, I think we were drinking off some rum and we were jamming. And it was kind of like, in my head, our head, it was dumb luck that we got together. So we put the two together, rum luck, dumb luck. Sound good enough.
so cliche.
And we did not Google it beforehand, but when you Google it now, we are like one of the only rum lucks. So that works out pretty good for us. Yeah. Yeah, that's how the name came about.
I don't know if you guys know this. There was a ska band in St. Louis in the 2000s called Dumb Luck.
Dumb luck. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say, don't ruin this for me.
Arnold or
Don't ruin this for me.
That's a good story.
I did not know that.
I'm just saying it's a good thing you didn't go with Dumb Luck, because then there'd be a fight, probably
Exactly.
some
There'd be
gunshots.
some
Yeah.
lawsuits, something.
Awesome. Let's jump over to Nate with Something to Do. I think we kind of are. We did that one already. That was the first one. But I think we have maybe someone that is coming on. Heath is.
Hey, what's going on?
You're Heath.
Can you hear me?
You must be from Working Class Stiffs.
No.
I'm from the operators.
Oh, he's also
I was running-
okay.
Yeah, I was running a little late. My dad was in the hospital, and
shit.
just figured I would see if anything was still going on or not.
Yeah. Oh, so sorry about that, man.
No worries. Just spinal disc fusion. So it's hopefully he'll be feeling better. So.
Oh.
Good.
Yeah.
Glad you're with us, man.
That's
yeah.
Damn. That's good. I want to circle back around with Tim. Where's Tim? Okay, there he is. There's so many people on here. So Tim, want to ask you in regards to specifics on the festival. I just want to make sure it is July 18th and 19th.
It is
you got that.
the 17th and the 18th.
No
matter how much you keep trying to fucking will it to be those other dates, if you show up on the 19th, you will be very disappointed. At least you'll get something on the 18th, but no, it is the 17th and 18th of July this particular year.
Okay.
Tickets are $20 individual nights, $30 both nights. Here's the thing though. I know in the past people said, hey, when you look at that $30 or that 2 night ticket, which used to be $35, it's not necessarily a great deal what you call in ticket fees. Well, good news is Blueberry Hill has shifted from Ticketmaster to eTix. So one, if you do that if you do the 2 day ticket, if you buy it online, it's only $33.05. So it's only got $3 surcharge. If you go to the venue and pay cash, it is only $30, no surcharge. So you can go this weekend or whatever, whatever.
Yeah.
Same thing with the single day tickets. It is $20 flat fee cash if you buy your tickets in advance with cash at the venue. Again, if you buy them online, it's only like another like a $2.50. It's less than $3 surcharges. So surcharges, if you have to do that, they're low. Again, it really does not make sense to not buy a 2 day pass when you're basically talking about $15 per band. And looking at ticket sales so far, it seems like the majority of ticket sales have been those 2 day passes.
Well,
So,
we're talking about this festival is going to be in not this weekend, but next weekend.
right.
Yeah.
On the 17th, Friday the 17th, and Saturday the 18th.
17th, 18th, 17th.
Of July
I got you thinking about it.
2026.
Not this weekend, next weekend.
Yeah, not
Friday and
this
Saturday.
weekend, not the weekend after next, but the weekend in between those 2 weekends. The 17th and the 18th.
So what does a Ninguid Fest encompass? Do you have food trucks? Do you have face painting? Do you have stuff for kids? What's the festival look like?
I mean, that's stuff for my kids still. They'll be there enjoying. Well, no, I mean, with this being in a restaurant, we can't bring in outside. We can't have outside vendors, right? The space, while it is a beautiful space, is not necessarily conducive to bringing in a bunch of vendors, right? So it is fucking 8 ska bands, and that's what you're gonna get, right? You're gonna get 8 ska and ska influenced bands. If you, and this is not necessarily meant to be insulting, so I don't want you to take it. If you want vendors, you should definitely go to Root Fest, right, in October. They're going to have a lot of vendors. They're going to have great food from Four Hands. It's a great thing, right? This is in a club, right? This is an intimate space. Only cap is only 340 people, and the fest is it's all about the music, right?
Okay.
Now, Chris, you want to correct me? You're saying it's not all about the music?
As an out of towner, I actually just wanted to pass on that the restaurant is really cool. It has tons of trinkets. I mean, it's kind of like a little mini museum with a lot of like lunch boxes and figurines, and it's a really neat venue. So my kids really enjoyed it. I've got some friends that are driving from Champaign, Illinois, that were there a couple of years ago when we were there, and they're like, that was such a cool place. And and St. Louis is awesome. So I wouldn't undersell the venue. I think
no, the venue's great.
Yeah.
And the owner has been around forever. He has basically revitalized that entire neighborhood. And so you can see pictures with him with almost every celebrity of like the last 50 years. And I don't mean just even St. Louis celebrities. I'm talking like really almost every celebrity of the last 50 years. But I do, like I said, if you're going in expecting to see food trucks, if you're going in expecting to see 20 vendors, that's not this type of fest. I've thought about maybe in the future moving it to, we have a couple of great amphitheaters in the area, 1,000-seat, 600-seat amphitheaters. I've thought about that and maybe incorporating that, but for now I still just kind of like the small intimate nature of the fest. I'd rather have a situation where because again, for the most part, once I hit the venue, everything is it's just me, right? And so I don't want to stretch myself thin, because I want to make sure that the audience is having a good time, and I want to make sure that the band's seeing anything, they have my full and complete attention.
Is it an all ages show, all ages venue?
Yes.
Nice.
And then
I kind of want something to do to offer up face painting now. Maybe we'll do some bootleg face painting.
There we go.
The day that we're there. It won't be good face painting. It'll be pretty amateur, but like
You're just gonna put
I don't know.
STD on everyone's
Isn't
forehead.
none
Yeah,
of it? None of it's good, man. It's just for fun. The kid, yeah, doesn't
Got
have
to
to be
run by
good.
Party City real quick. Don't mind you guys.
On that Friday, July 17th,
There you
Coolidge
go,
is
champ.
playing. Coolidge, Lost Island, The Operators, and Rum Luck and Arkansas. No, I'm sorry. Sorry. Friday, Coolidge, Lost Island, Operators, and Rum Luck. And that's it, right? Or is there one more?
It's 4. You got it.
There's 4. Okay. Saturday, you got your Ninguid All Stars. You got Something to Do, Working Class Stiffs, and Arkansas. Got it. All right. Perfect. So we got 8 bands now. Each band is this like a 6-hour show? Does each band like get about an hour? And
every band is doing about 3 hours. It's gonna be very uncomfortable. So
just don't
please
know it.
make sure that you bring everyone. You bring
no,
everyone
no air
Gatorade.
conditioning.
There is air conditioning. The venue has recently been remodeled. Catch 22 played. What was it last week before last? So one of the things, it was the first time I've been in the venue since they've had to remodel. And I'm like, man, it actually feels very, very comfortable in here. So they've done there is air conditioning. Each member gets one 8-ounce glass. I'm not putting anything in it, so please make sure again that you bring them Gatorade or water or Pedialyte to keep them hydrated for these 3-hour sessions. No, it's gonna be different. There'll be some sets basically ranging from 35 minutes to 40 minutes for the last band of each night. But again, this is not conducive. This would not be conducive to forcing every band to play at 1 hour. And not everybody can fill an hour. Some bands we brought on for Ninguid Fest gave them 40 minutes. They were out in 20. So not because they just didn't have enough material. So it's just one of those things. Like last year, Ninguid Fest night 2 ended almost an hour, no, about 40 minutes early. Again, not because there were any issues. It's just that one, I try to keep things, the changeovers going smoothly as possible, and two, you know, sometimes you don't have enough, especially if you're a band that's touring where maybe not everyone lives in the same city. Conversely, that worked out well for Ninguid Fest 1 with Sergeant Skag ended up doing like an entire hour set just because they're like, man, we have a little bit of extra time because the changeover, let's just fucking hit the ground running. So, but I we you know we I try to work with I talk to everyone right around advance and like make sure like, hey, this is set time, work for you. And then if it does, that's great. And if it doesn't, well, I guess I'll just have to vamp for 15, 20 minutes. But no, but seriously, though, everyone that I work with in all 3 Ninguid Fest have been very great, and I hate to say business partners again because of the whole show business term, but they've been great partners and great people to work with, and again, understanding, again, personal stuff that's happened when it comes to the selection process and being who's putting off, announced, but everyone's been great, and I'm really fucking lucky to have worked with all these bands over the years.
Awesome. Appreciate you, Tim, for putting this whole thing together with these bands. So for each band, let's go around individually real quick. It's going to be the second to last question. For this question, want to know where we can find your music, both physical and digital, starting with Arkansas.
So for digital, we have all major distributions. So Spotify, iTunes, we got YouTube. There's a million other ones that we're on, but I don't know what they are. But people do use them somewhere. So all those digitally. Physically, we have CDs that we sell at shows. We don't have an online marketplace right now or anything like that. But we're working on stuff like that for the future. So
cool. And then also the last question for you. Do you have any last words for your fans of Arkansas and the viewers of our channel?
I'm happy to be working with Ninguid Records again. This is our second chance to actually get to come back to St. Louis. St. Louis has taken care of us every time we've been. For the fans, we love you, and skank your asses off. So,
Awesome. Thanks, Tyrus. Let's head over to you, Chris, with Coolidge. Same thing. Physical, digital, and last words for your fans.
Digital, all the regular players, Spotify, Apple, etc. It's available in all those places. Physical, you could order at coolidgetheband.com, and we can ship out CDs and vinyl. I guess I will kind of wrap this into my final comment to everybody, and that is that, in this day and age, nobody's making any money off of those streams. So come out to the show, bring some extra money, support these bands. It's amazing how just, a few more album sales can help a band record and press the next album and keep going. So bring some extra cash,
or even get
Venmo
to the,
or PayPal,
or even get home, right, with gas.
Totally. But thanks for watching and listening. We hope to see you soon.
Joe, you still there? So at the Lost Island Society, we may have lost Joe, but I'm sure probably. Do you know, Tim, any of the anything with them? Do you work?
I would just assume that if you Google Lost Island Society with the name that unique, they will pop up.
They'll pop up. Okay, got it. All right. And then for you with Ninguid, it's so new.
Well, I mean, we don't have to promote the band. We can promote the label. Ninguid Records across all social media, and ninguidrecords.com is our storefront.
Perfect. Head over to Brandon with the operators. Say and Heath. Sorry.
Actually, yeah, I'll let Heath field this question.
Oh, okay.
All right. Nice seeing you, buddy.
First time Brandon chose not to talk. Yeah, so operators, we're on all the major platforms: Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp. If you want to, download some music and send a little cash our way, it's not much, but like Chris said, everything kind of adds up in this day and age when you're making pennies for every listen, or fractions of a penny, I should say, for every listen you get online, right? So we've got a few vinyl left. We'll have with us at the show, our second album, and yeah, we got a new one coming out soon. So just stay tuned and watch our pages and all that stuff. We'll have some announcements coming up soon. I think
you're talking about the self-titled second album.
Correct. Yeah.
Correct.
We have. Yeah, we will have copies of that with us at the show on vinyl and CD.
Didn't Chuck put that one out as well as that Coolidge album?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, and Jump Up.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
I'm gonna need to get another copy of the self-titled second album.
All right.
Well, if you come to St. Louis on the 17th and 18th of July in the year 2026, you have your opportunity.
Let's head over to Rumluck over there. Kenny and DL. Same question for you. Where can we find your music, physical, digital, and last words for your fans?
Yeah, we got everything on all the streaming platforms right now. We got CDs, but we're selling them at the show.
So come out, check us out.
Yeah. Like I said, and like they were saying, buy some merch.
Check out everybody on all their platforms.
That will help us record our next album or EP. And we have something coming out probably fall or late summer. We got a new EP that's completely done, and we're ready to start releasing some stuff. So yeah, let's rock. We'll see y'all in the pit. Let's go.
Nice. Let's get over to Nate with something to do. Same question.
Sorry for the dramatic pause. I dropped my phone. Yeah, we're on all the services. We're on iTunes and Spotify, Apple Music, Bandcamp, of course. Takes a smaller cut than some of these other guys. You can find us everywhere. We're on Deezer. I don't know what that is. Deezer pays pretty good. I see us getting paid by Deezer.
Streaming
I'm like,
app,
what
yeah.
the hell is that? Yeah, I've never been on it. But
No, I haven't either,
love
but I heard it's a pretty good app.
Is it? Cool. I don't know why I haven't checked it out. We've been on there for a long ass time.
Me either.
Yet. We're on all the socials too. We're yeah, and I think that, you know, we've got a number of albums out. We've been a band for the entire millennia so far, the whole 2000s on basically. So got a lot of chance to record albums. We actually just got a new pressing of our last album on a different colored vinyl that we'll have at the show at Ninguid on the 18th, I believe that is. And we're also working up to a new album here that will be coming out pretty soon too. So keep your ears peeled for that.
The 18th of July, Nate. The 18th of July.
The 18th of the month that we're in now, you know, and it's
of this year.
Days of this year. Yeah, that's right. I wish I had a really good like inspirational message for your last question where you're like, what do you got to tell the fans? I'll just say, keep doing it, baby. Let's go.
That's awesome. Well, everyone, we do appreciate the time that you took out of your day with your families and everything else to talk about the Ninguid Ska Festival that's coming up. We already know the dates, so we don't have to say it again. So thank you all. Can you guys hold on real quick? We just got a quick question for you real quick. But thank you all. Hold on.